Okay, so my name is Maria. I'm from Colombia originally, and I moved to Canada a year ago. And just 3 months after moving here, I caught COVID. And ever since then, I've been dealing with long COVID and understanding the nervous system. And yeah, so I'm 34 years old, and I'm a photographer and a UX designer. But right now, I'm just like, my full time job is just healing from the CFS long COVID or hypersensitive nervous system, as we call it here in the academy. I've had, I think, over 50 different symptoms, and they were rotating. So after getting COVID, my first symptoms were POTS. I didn't know what POTS was at the beginning, but I was getting lightheadedness, dizziness, standing heart rate of 150 just by walking to the bathroom. 150 beats per minute. So that was one of the first. And then other dysautonomia symptoms started to show up as the months progressed. So I remember having heat sensitivity. I couldn't stand like the sun on my skin. I will get rashes. I couldn't shower with warm or hot water at all. I would get palpitations and an increased heart rate and tachycardia. And I had migraines for a long time, for a few months. And then after that, the more neurological symptoms started. So I had blurry vision. I had this thing that is really hard to describe where the perception of death, I couldn't see how far or how close the objects really were. My brain was not really working. And that lasted for a few days. And then as the illness progressed, I started to have this neuropathic pain, which is I felt electricity running through my arms, the back of my neck, my back, a lot of pain that you could label as fibromyalgia in my neck and my back, panic attacks 24/7. I couldn't stand screens, cell phones, light, sound, anything, any type of stimulant will cause sort of like panic attack symptoms, which were like anxiety, physical anxiety in my body. And then there are the psychological symptoms as well: depression, anxiety, sense of impending doom. Like I was catastrophizing 24/7. This was all up until I discovered the academy and I started my healing process like 3 months ago. These are just one of the few symptoms because I also had PBS issues, histamine issues, you name it. Like all the regular COVID, long COVID symptoms, I think I had an experience. I checked out your program, the Recovery Jumpstart. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to afford it. I entered my contact phone number, my email, and then when you opened the academy, you emailed me, and I was like, yes, right away. I didn't even think about it. I just joined. I think it was the beginning of July, and I was actually one of the first thrivers at the academy to join, and since then it has been just a completely different story of recovery. I was at my worst actually when I joined the academy. So that's how I found you. It was through YouTube, just searching on COVID. It has been incredible. I think, as you have said before, and other people have said before, like most of the neuroplasticity and mind body work or in how to heal from CFS or fibromyalgia or long COVID, hypersensitive nervous system is out there for free. But people need guidance. This is so hard because you're trying to fix your brain with the brain that is not working right. So all the doctors were telling me, there's nothing wrong with you. All your tests are fine. Your MRI is fine. Your CT scan is fine. We don't know what's going on with you, but this is probably caused by COVID and we don't know anything. So we don't know if you're going to recover from this. So just reassurance, guidance, and then the community. We have such a wonderful group at the academy. Everyone's so compassionate. We all have different symptoms and different background stories. And we actually from all over the world. Actually, we have people in Australia, the United States, all over Europe, and I'm in Canada. So we have people from all over the world and just connecting with people that otherwise you wouldn't have the chance to connect and share your stories and your wins. It's super encouraging and it's amazing. It has made my recovery a lot like easier in a way. For some context, so I joined the academy at my worst. My downward spiral, I think, hit rock bottom in May, June, and July where all these stimuli from the outside world were just too much for me to even go outside my apartment. So I couldn't stand noise, I couldn't stand light. Everything was causing physical symptoms from just like watching a screen, or even going outside was too much for my nervous system. So even though I didn't have fatigue as one of the main symptoms I experienced, I was pretty much housebound, if not bedbound at times for weeks. So the difference from then, that was 3 months ago, I think it was the beginning of July when I joined. The call started in early August, and now we're October, like the middle of October. I just went to the mall for the first time this past weekend. Very crowded place, very stimulating place. I was there for 3 hours and I came back home with no symptoms. I'm able to take the subway, the public transportation system here. I don't have a car, so it's really important for me to be able to move around through the public transportation system. I am starting to socialize with friends. I'm still doing the graded exposure, but I can tolerate friends. I have more resilience when it comes down to emotions and emotional topics. So I went back to my therapist and we're doing this emotional work, but just little by little. And this is important because most of my APs were caused by emotions, actually, rather than physical activity. They were caused by emotions. So it seems like I'm more resilient. My nervous system is becoming like more resilient. And inside my apartment, I can do everything for myself. I can cook, I can clean my apartment, I can go out and do grocery shopping. I'm living like a normal life in my still limited and small world, but I'm getting there. I went from being able to do nothing to being able to watch TV, read, listen to music, listen to podcasts. It's like my life is coming back to me. Before I joined the academy, I remember watching on your channel, I think it was Krista's recovery story. And she was like really trapped in this long COVID, like, housebound, almost bedbound. And I think her interview was at the 3-month mark as well. And she was like going to places, and I think she went to this casino or hotel or something, which was really stimulating. And I remember thinking, how can a person be so sick at one point and then 3 months later be doing all of this? It's impossible. This cannot be true. And now that I'm living it, it is true, but it takes a lot of work and a lot of repetition of the same principles that are really simple, but it's not easy when you're in those APs. You need a lot of support. So that's the reason why the academy, it's so important as well. Yeah. I think that's what's really makes the difference about your program is the community aspect, to have coaches. Some of those programs have coaches, but you have to pay extra, while the academy, the focus is it's on community. You have the knowledge, you have all the e-learnings and all the videos with your step-by-step program for recovery as well. You're not going to lose, I promise. You're going to gain a lot of knowledge and a lot of support from people. I think you guys have worked with hundreds and hundreds of people. So that empirical experience as well gives you a lot of knowledge to guide us through our own recovery. So I think I've never asked a question that you guys have no answer to. Like, you have seen it all. And that's really reassuring in a way. Like, you have seen it all, so you can help me too. Like, I'm no different from other people. So I would say just join for a month, give it a try. And if it's your call, if you like it, if it resonates with you, you're going to make so much progress. And if this is not for you, you're going to find something else that is more suitable for you, your case specific. But I think this program can help almost everyone. Yeah.